Hello everyone, and welcome back to the neighborhood. Today, for the first time, the channel is taking a look at an IEM with DSP, terminating in a Type-C connection. Is this the wave of the future? Let's get into it. So this is the Jiu by Moondrop, and it may look eerily familiar. Essentially, this looks like a Moondrop Jiu with an inline microphone that terminates in a Type-C connection, which means you can plug it right into your phone, and there's no need for an additional DAC or amplifier to get you up and running. Speaking of getting it up and running, I used it both on my computer and on my phone. Off my computer, this thing operated rather seamlessly. I was able to use Discord, engage in video calls, and listen to music using my player of choice, Rune. Unfortunately, I didn't have nearly as much luck with my Android phone. Although music and video playback was without issue, using Discord and even taking phone calls bugged this thing out. My voice and the voices of others came across digitized, so the DSP and the DAC of this thing isn't always user-friendly. This was a bit of a letdown, as the inline microphone and small $25 price tag of the Jiu suggested it could be used as an everyday carry in multiple use case scenarios, but the execution in Android at the moment falls flat. Perhaps Moondrop can release a firmware update for the Jiu to fix these issues in the future. I'm also going to knock the Jiu a bit because it uses the same tangle-prone cable as the Jiu and comes with only Moondrop spring ear tips. I did not have as much of a sound problem with the spring ear tips on the Jiu as I did with the Jiu, but I much prefer Moondrop's original black silicone ear tips to the spring ear tips from both fit and sound perspectives. My preferred ear tips for the Jiu were Soft Ear's ultra clear ear tips, but at a price of $18, that's probably a big ask for this set. Tri-Clarion tips were also nice at half the price. So let's go ahead and get into the sound. Does this sound like the Jiu, but with a different termination? No, it doesn't. This is definitely an optimized version of the Jiu. Although they utilize the same driver housing and wire, the DSP technology appears to be doing some work. Overall, the Jiu is a lot smoother sounding, without any of the peakiness or mild harshness or shoutiness that the Jiu exhibited. The bass of the Jiu is also tighter and more integrative. The Jiu sounded really good for a $20 IEM at the time, but the Jiu sounds even better for a mild price increase. If I had one criticism of the sound, it would be that there's a tinge of roundedness to the presentation of the notes that results in a smoothing effect to the overall sound. With that said, it is a pleasant sound, and I'm not sure most people will even notice or care about this in the end. The effect is slight, and for $26, I shouldn't be complaining too much, as these excel way beyond their price point. The Jiu has a certain musical quality to it. The bass keeps up with most in-ear monitors under $80 or so. It's pretty even sounding and more of a sub-bass emphasis than the Jiu had, which had more of a mid-bass push. The mid-range is sufficiently present, with a slight elevation in the presence area compared to other Moondrop counterparts. The treble lacks early brilliance, but rebounds after 12K or so. I would like to hear more representation from 8 to 10K though. Nevertheless, imaging is excellent and technical capabilities are great for this low price. I took particular note of its ability to distinguish between various instruments in the soundscape and separate out individual notes. Its soundstage width and height are just above average, but there's a surprisingly good amount of depth to the image as well. The timbre here is mildly dark, alluring, and somewhat warm, but even so, each note cuts through well to the ear. Compared to the Moondrop LAN, the shell of the Jiu is also a fair bit shorter than the LAN, but a bit deeper in its profile. The LAN also comes with a detachable cable, but no built-in DSP DAC, and boasts a standard 3.5mm connection instead. One would need an additional external device like the Atom 3 to get the LAN driven similarly well. Sonically, the LAN is drier, crisper, and weightier in its expression, with additional air, brightness, and a certain guttural quality to its output, while the Jiu is beyond entrancing, smoother and more liquid sounding with extra bass emphasis under 100 Hz. While I personally think the LAN is the superior experience, as it is more detailed and resolves slightly better, many people, after a more normative sound, may prefer the GU. All the same, the GU is certainly an upgrade to the Chew. Those that are after more of a no-fuss, plug-and-play situation will surely be drawn to the GU. Someone who complains about having to use an external dongle deck with their smartphone may find the GU more appealing than a traditional in-ear monitor and all of its extras that go with it these days. Although I find its inability to be used for communication purposes off a cell phone a bit perplexing and frustrating to say the least, and I have to mention, one is limited by digital volume with the GU, still, the GU is easy to use otherwise and has a safe and pleasant sound overall that works well with various genres of music. For $26, it's sure to impress the budding audiophile and make an excellent gift for those that want a taste of this hobby. And before you go, make sure to hit that subscribe button, smash a like on this video, and give it a big old thumbs up. There will also be links in the description if you're interested in accessing the neighborhood at all other neighborhood access locations. And as always, I really appreciate you watching. And with that, I'm out for now.